Alright guys, so I know I haven't been creating videos because we're not at the 8th yet, and I am testing. This is not my actual account, I'm just testing. So I have a few things going on here. So I found this, or not found this, but I'm looking into new strategies and stuff like that to kind of better myself at trading. I really want to make this work 2024. It's already been working for me, but I want to make it. I want to be one of the best. Like I'm done playing around. But so I have a few levels here. Over here on the right on Tradeovate, you see my 5 minute chart. I have this green box. This right here is going to be a bullish area. So we actually created this area. Pre-market, and we were actually in this area. So we started the trend up at 805. We were long in this area. We were trying to get long to this right here. This is basically a line in the sand. Um, we were trying to get long here. So we weren't going to get long just because we started trending up here at 805. We were actually looking for something significant. Now down here in around 820 or so, we had a market structure change, but that was not, let's see, 805. We were at, open at 829. 29, so that would be down here. So down here we have market structure shift, but we do not have significant value, and we do not have a large candle pushing up. So there was no reason to take a trade within the line in the sand. Now, as market open at 8:30, we got that big push up with decent volume. We got 10,000 participant. That's basically the minimum I like to see on opening candle. So you can also call this an opening range play, but we are still in holiday. It is December 28th, so we have not even got to the new year yet. I expect volatility to come back, and everybody to come back in the market around January 8th. So, yeah, we went ahead, and after seeing that volume, we went ahead and tried to go long. Um, and we weren't going long just to this higher high. We were actually going to, like I said, line in the sand, which is up here. So if you look over here on this 5 minute charts, the higher high would be right about here. So we had several points above the higher high. The reason why I didn't stay in is because even though we had this, as you can see, we are negative in delta. We opened up negative in delta, and with being negative in delta, we also have it dropping like a rock. Like, I mean, it's been struggling. I know I didn't have the cameras, the recording going beforehand, but we have been dropping like a rock with delta. And even though I have this new strategy I'm testing out, a lot of people like to test strategies blind. I still want to use the indicators that have helped me so far. So, like, maybe if Delta was just moving slow, or if it was above the positive line and dropping, I would have stayed in. But the fact that it's dropping, it's not staying still, it's not staying static, it's not just going sideways, it is literally dropping with speed. Normally, I would take a short on this type of drop, and it's below, and it's in negative and not positive. We went ahead and got out of that trade, um, and we actually had two contracts on. We started with one contract on the second candle at 8:31. We went ahead and had one contract, and then we got in a second time. Um, we had a buy stop. So as this candle right here went down, we put in a buy stop, so 834, and then basically it came back up. I don't know why it says this candle. Maybe it was that candle, but So let's say 835. With this red candle here, it dipped into basically what I would call a fair value gap of that 830. So I was like, okay, it's going to push up. It came back down on this green candle here. I seen Delta stop dropping. It was trying to curve up as of like what it's doing now, but it was a little bit higher. So I put a buy stop in for that 835 candle as we were below it, and we came back up past it and continued higher a little bit the next candle. And then as you can see, we got stagnant right here, and I just didn't like what Delta was doing, so I went ahead and took profits. That profits only netted me $50 on two contracts, but I didn't want to stay in, and basically we don't took out that fair value gap as of right now. We still can go higher because we are still above our line in the sand, but um, unless a lot of buyers come in with aggressive buying, meaning market buys and not limit orders, I don't see us going higher. We are a little bit higher on the delta as of right now. Um, but I mean, I want to see delta kind of pass this line right here. If you can see, make it a different color. That's fine. It's not gonna stay there for long, because that's not gonna be the longer that's there, the longer we don't hit this area, the less this is relevant. So I will take that off the market. But that's what I want to see. I want to see Delta hit that fairly quickly as price tries to trend back up to this high, and it's struggling to do that. Now, if we look on the profile, we do have a 11 wide below us, but recently, from what I've been noticing, we haven't been hitting our 10, 11, 12 wide POCs from the previous day the next day. It's been taking 2, 3, maybe a week before we come back and test those levels. So I'm moving away from the theory that, just because we have that wide POC that we'll go ahead and hit that next day. That can take, a few days or even until next week before we come back and hit. So I am still not thinking of this as a really of a target, but we'll see. We'll see. And as far as my normal strategy, if you look over to the left on TradingView, my normal strategy, this is from yesterday. So if we go on the hour time frame, oh, that's from actually Wednesday. I mean Tuesday. So today's Thursday. If you look, this high is 2 p.m. Tuesday. So that's my high. We already went through it yesterday at 2 p.m. But seeing as it's at the end of the day, I'm thinking, okay, it's at the end of the day. We still can come back down. What's the next level here? Typically, I would not count this as a level, but seeing as once again we're in the holiday weeks, we want our closest level. We don't want to try to risk it to go way down here or here. That's a little bit optimistic, too optimistic for holiday season trading. So, and even this is a stretch. I mean, especially in the morning session. Seeing as I only trade morning session, we have to have something really break. What else can I say about this? Um, the other levels, we do have other highs in our time zones that we trade. So if we look here, this is not a high that we need to worry about, but right here, this is a high we need to worry about. If you look, that is 1 a.m. 1 a.m. high, but like I said, I like this better. We had a nice run up here before we made this high and started um, going sideways. So that's a noticeable high right there. This high is not as potent as I would like to see. Doesn't mean it's ineffective, but I would have really liked to see maybe three candles down, three red candles, and three green candles up, or not necessarily three green candles up, but at least three in one direction, and I'm getting two in both. So I really don't like to see that. In a perfect world, three red candles, three green candles, and then our downfall, and that would be a high in my opinion. But yeah, I didn't really count that. And if we look at our line in our sand, what is that? That's at like 48, 45. 41. So that's 4 points below where we're aiming, just about. So yeah, we were planning on taking this out because it's still liquidity. It still could be liquidity. Um, I just don't think it would be enough to drive the price back down. And overall, we have had a bearish sentiment. If you look, we have been going higher, even though the market has been nasty and choppy the last few days due to holiday. Um, this was due to news and everybody getting out of the market before holiday. What is this? This is December 23rd. And that is, no, I'm sorry, December 20th. Yeah, so that's the week of basically the week right before Christmas. Everybody's getting out, getting out of the market, which I assumed this move was going to happen. I wasn't here for this because it happened later on in the day, and I was at my other profession. But yeah, this was one hell of a job, and I heard a lot of coworkers take advantage of this, but there was no strategy in it. I just basically heard them yellowing, jumping in, and like, oh my gosh, it's just running and just reaping the profits, which is also good too. But there's no strategy behind it. I don't know if I could have caught it. I didn't go back and replay it. Maybe it's something I should replay, but as of now, I haven't. And we've been ranging around this area since open. We've opened. We're not too far from open. We're not. I mean, we're inside the candle. Delta's still going down. It's not really trying to trend up. We're still above our line in the sand. And there's one thing I want to know. It is 8:53 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we have news. So we have news, and it states we had news at 7:30, which was unemployment claims. That was the major news. Goods trades balance and all that. But the main one to look at was unemployment claims. And let's see. The forecast for that, the previous was 206. Forecast was 211. Actual was 218. So we were 7,000. It looks like 7,000 claims over what the forecast was, and hugely over previous numbers. So a lot of unemployment claims as we get into the holiday season. That is not good, actually. So that might be why markets are falling. You have to apply for unemployment. You're not really shopping for the holidays. You're saving that money. So that could have something to do with it. And at 9 o'clock, we do have news. So that's in 5 minutes. We do have news, and that is pending home sales. We have about 4 minutes and 20 seconds on that. So, and then the rest kind of important news that we have. Everything else is not super important to our sector. Like we do have natural gas storage at 9:30 and crude oil at 10 o'clock. We're not trading crude oil. We're not trading natural gas. Yes, that can affect the market, but we're not really looking at that for the sake of this development and seeing how, we don't want to really bog ourselves down with too much news. If we can save our mental capacity, our mental capital. But we do have Chicago PMI, but that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow at 8:45, and it is PMI. So that's pretty important. So we'll be looking at that. That's 8:45. So that's 15 minutes after our market opens Friday. Um, so yeah. So yeah. Now we're 3 minutes 20 seconds from news pending home sales. So let me just give some stats on that. So our previous was negative 1.5%. We have a forecast of 0.8%. Hmm. So that's not good. So let me try to make some sense of this. If we have higher unemployment claims, a lot higher than previous, um, which we get these claims every month, higher unemployment claims, a higher percentage of homes forecast, if we get more pending sales, pending home sales, I'm thinking if we get higher than point 0.8, I'm thinking we're definitely going lower. That's just my thought. This is really hard stuff to process. Typically, people don't really even use the news in trading. They kind of trade from a black hole. If you Most day traders, unless it's stocks, then you look at earnings and stuff. But I'm just you know throwing that out there as a guess, and we'll see what happens. So this is strictly guessing. I'm not going to take a trade off of this, but we are going to see how the market reacts depending on the number. Once again, I'm going to repeat it. We had a previous of negative 1.5. Forecast is 0.8%, and actual will be released in 1 minute 20 seconds. And this is pending home sales. That's at 9 o'clock. So let me go ahead and pop that down. We got 1 minute. We're still above that line in the sand. We're just not moving. I guess we're just waiting for that news. I'm curious to see how much volume we have because since we've had that um, first candle with 10,000 participants in it, we have not had a higher candle. We quickly dropped off to 7,500, and even after that to 3,000. So we're not even above 4,000. And typically after that initial candle, I at least like to see 5,000 participants in either direction in a 1 minute candle. And I'm not seeing that at all. Right now, matter of fact, right now we're at our last candle was at 1,700 participants, but we have 3, 2, 1, and news should be coming out. It's pending. It's 9 o'clock. We're clearly inside the range for a period. Delta's not really moving, I guess, to digesting it. It's 0%, so we're lower. That makes sense. Um, does that make sense? Pending home sales makes sense if we're at 0%. A lot of people, if they get if they are unemployed and they had pending home sales, they would probably cancel those home sales, seeing as they don't have a way to pay for those homes. So that number makes sense. If it was higher, I would think that the market would go lower. Now that it's zero, I can close this out. Let's see what the market does. I think now we'll just be ranging. But we could still drop, so let's see. And I have an hour to trade left, because I typically stop trading at 10 o'clock. Unless I'm already in a trade, and then I'll take a trade. If I'm already in a trade prior to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, then I'll go ahead and stay in the trade until 10:30. If we start to slow down, then I'll go ahead and take profits or take loss, whichever one it is. And but if we're quickly trending in a direction and I'm gaining momentum in the direction of my profit target, then I might hold until about 11 o'clock, which is I go take a lunch, walk away at that point. The market's making me nervous. I mean, I'm not even in a trade and it's making me nervous. Now, this is exactly what I expected it to do with with no increase, with 0% and pending home sales. Um, but it is like chugging, like it's moving slow, like the little train that could, like it is not going anywhere. But it's no, not even like the little train that not even the little train that could. I mean, at least it was the little train that could, Thomas or whatever it was. He was trying to get somewhere. This is just at an almost standstill. Go ahead and turn off these headphones because I'm not using these. Uh, there's some activity, but not really a lot of volume. We got 3 seconds left, and we only have 1,600 participants in that candle. Yeah, so um, I was using this to listen. This is not my mic. I'm using the mic from the video camera, which is why it might sound the way it sounds. So see, this is a decent gap. This is a decent fair value gap that they're presenting us, but no volume really. More than normal. Almost 3,000 participants in this candle. We still got 15 seconds left. I'm gonna listen in on some of my coworkers. what they're saying. So how that ended on the right here, how this candle ended, as you can see, this is the one I was looking at. If you were wondering, you can go back and play this candle real quick. Or you can just see we got all the way down here at one point. This is a pretty decent gap, compared to the last few candles. So that's something you would look at. It's market structure breaking. I would have liked to see that extend past this because I believe that this was a market structure and not this. But the algorithm that I have set up for the strategy considered this market structure, but this I would more feel more comfortable looking at that. So if that would extend it past this, and we would have had good volume, especially like something above 4,000, because this was 3,600. Yeah, about 4,000, and even may I dare say 5,000. That number I like. I would have went ahead and taken that trade. Looks like they're really paying attention to crude oil today, um, which I don't trade. You know, I dabble in it every once in a while, but I don't really trade crude oil. I'm distracting myself so I don't make any mistakes, make any trades. There's literally no volume in this market. I'm gonna stay in the market for an extra 10 minutes. I was gonna get off right now, early, so it's not extra 10 minutes, but I'm gonna stay in the market until 9:30. Um, it's 9:19 right now. If we don't get any decent volume by 9:30, 9:31, then I'm gonna get out. There's no point in watching this. Dude, this is like the longest 10 minutes ever. And I've been distracting myself. Oh my god, this market is slow. What the fuck happened? $50 is $50. What did that take me? How long did that take me? $6 minutes. 6 minutes to make $50. That's not bad. I bet you as soon as I dip for the day, we start getting movement. Brazil cracks down on wildcat miners in the Amazon. Okay. Oil prices slip as Red Sea supply worries ease. U.S. inventory rises. Futures remain little changed after jobless claims data. That's what I need to be looking at, but we'll come back to that. U.S. weekly jobless claims rise more than expected. Mexico jobless rate stable at 2.7. Yeah, a little bit of volume. Or a little bit of movement. Same amount of volume. Rate cut hopes to drive market sentiment. Yes, since we had the news of Powell speaking on rate cuts, we have been going higher without any significant pullbacks. So that is true. I don't know if that large pullback on the 20th was before or after Powell spoke, though. Let me look at this futures read article here. So stocks may continue to experience choppy trading on Thursday after ending yesterday's lackluster session. Slightly higher. The major index futures are currently pointing to a roughly flat open for the markets, with S&P 500 futures up by less than 0.1%. Yeah, we're experiencing that for sure. There you go. The futures remain little change even after the Labor Department raised issues and released a report showing first-time claims for U.S. unemployment benefits rose by more than expected in a week. In the week ended December 23rd. The report said initial jobless claims climbed to 218,000, an increase of 12,000 from the previous week's revised level of 206,000. There's nothing really there's nothing really relevant in this that I'm looking at so far. Trading activity may pick back up next week as the Labor Department is scheduled to release its more closely watched monthly jobs report next Friday. Okay. Now, we're not trading next week once again. Not in the actual account. I might hop on here and trade for testing purposes as I'm doing now, but not in the actual account. Like I said, not in the actual account until the 8th. So we still got 2 more weeks for that. So that line in the sand is kind of working. We're almost at the highs of this morning after that 30 minutes. I don't like it though. Like even though it's working, I am glad I got out. I don't like I don't like what it's doing. I don't like how slow it is. Um, and I've probably said this before, but I'm really not a fan of longs. Longs take too long. You know, when the market rises, it kind of grinds higher. I'm a fan of shorts. I love when the market drops. Um, Typically, then is when I want to hop in and add sides and stuff like that. You know, I add sides going along out of desperation. I feel, and typically only reach a few points, if that, if not just a few ticks, and I get out of the market like this. You know what did I have? I had 2 ticks, 2 ticks. I had 2 contracts, so 2 ticks. Yeah, but it's 25 a piece because 1 tick is 12.50. So 2 ticks would be, I mean, 2 contracts. 1 contract is 12.50. 2 contracts would be 25. Yeah, so and I got $50. So that's 2 moves. That's 2 ticks in the market. 2 ticks in the market on 2 contracts. Not very thrilling. Got out. It was taking too long. Now we might grind higher to that little target area that we have up there at 48, 45, but it seems like it's going to take all day, and I'm just not willing to hand over that mental capacity or, manage to trade for that long, until 2 p.m. It feels like it might get there by lunch, but, unless a big player hops in and starts aggressively hopping in this market, that is not moving. So, and it's 9:33. So it's 9:33. I should have known by C period opening up. So as you can see, C period is the first period that kind of rose out of A period. So yeah, we're a new high, but not by much. So it's kind of about the initial balance. So if we look, yeah, so we're getting out of initial balance. I went ahead and plotted VWAP here on TradingView. So what it seemed to be doing at first was hitting this standard deviation, the first standard deviation, and going back to a VWAP and then just bouncing through that. We might either hit this standard deviation high and bounce off of VWAP and just continue to do that until we can get some power to go higher, or we might hit the second deviation and come back down to VWAP. We could still go between second deviation and first deviation and grind higher. That's what I was thinking we would do if we get to that 40, 48, 45 level. And for that, if you were to take a trade, I would wait until we get past the standard deviation and get to the second. And once we pull back to the standard deviation again, then I would probably buy off of that and then, sell when it gets, from this light blue line to the green line. I don't want to keep saying standard deviation, but deviation one and deviation two. That's what I would trade after. But I would wait until we clear that deviation one and get to deviation two and have a pull back from deviation two to deviation one, and then I would buy and then just play that range until we get to the high, unless we have considerable value. But if with the value we have now, if you want to play that game, I would do that. Um, but you know, it's a very hard game to play. I don't have any indication of what it's doing as of right now. It is moving really slow. So it's 9:35. I'm 5 minutes over the time I was told you I was going to get off. But I'm done. So I will see you guys maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But yeah, I'm done for today. So logging out, guys.